Unending nightmare. El Paso Walmart assassin bags 90 consecutive life sentences for racist rampage. TLDR. An unforgettable tragedy rocked El Paso in 2019 when a racially driven mass shooting took 23 innocent lives at a local Walmart. Fast forward to the present, and the man behind the gun, Patrick Crucius, has been handed 90 consecutive life sentences. So much for getting a second chance in the game of life, eh? But let's not gloss over the details, shall we? The tale begins with a quiet day in El Paso, a typical day where families were out shopping, completely oblivious to the terror that was about to unfold. Enter stage right, our villain, a 24-year-old Patrick Crucius, wearing a jumpsuit and shackles. No epic monologue here, just a horrifying act of violence that would alter the lives of many forever. The attack was not just a reckless shooting spree. It was a targeted onslaught against Hispanic shoppers at the US-Mexico border, meticulously planned and executed by Crucius. Justice, however, would eventually make its appearance. The once silent killer pleaded guilty to almost 50 federal hate crime charges, a confession that, in turn, earned him one of the harshest sentences ever given to a mass shooter. Was it a fair trade? An end to the death penalty for a confession? Let's put a pin in that for a moment. As the sentencing was announced, Crucius, ever the stoic, showed no emotion. From the sidelines, the son of one victim, unable to contain his anger, lashed out at him. The courtroom, heavy with grief and palpable tension, watched as the villain of their nightmares was led away, presumably to serve his time in a maximum security prison in Colorado. The sentences are consecutive, meaning Crucius has absolutely no hope of parole. Looks like it's game over for our shooter, but what about the families of the victims? Their wounds are far from healed. Despite the verdict, a critical question lingers. Is the consecutive life sentences for a mass murderer a fitting punishment? Or is it simply a way to avoid the moral quandary posed by the death penalty? If Crucius were to face the death penalty in a separate case in a Texas state court, would it bring a greater sense of closure to the victims' families? Or would it merely add another layer to the tragic saga? Finally, it's your turn to join the conversation. What do you think? Is a life stuck behind bars more fitting than the swift justice of the death penalty?